All right, let's get into this because this is one of those medical mysteries that just pulls you right in. We're going to break down how a guy's choice to eat a healthy snack pushed his body to the edge and forced his doctors to solve a puzzle that was literally written in his blood.
It starts so simply, something any of us would do. You're at the store, you see a new snack, you think, hey, I'm going to try to be a little healthier. A tiny decision that should mean absolutely nothing.
But for him, that one small choice set off this insane, catastrophic chain reaction inside his body. Suddenly, it's a full-blown life-or-death race against time.
So, let's open the case file. This is where it all begins. A simple snack that turns into a total medical nightmare.
So, this is Kevin. He's 65, retired, and he's really trying to focus on his health. He's a snacker. We can all relate to that, right? He finds these new high-protein snacks made from puffed fava beans, and they're good. So good, in fact, that he ends up eating 3 whole bags.
And this is where things just go off the rails and fast. Day 1, he just feels a little bloated, no big deal. But day 2, he wakes up feeling like he has the worst hangover of his life. He's exhausted, nauseous, has this weird pain in his stomach. By the next morning, it's a crisis. He's burning up, he almost blacks out, and that's when he looks in the mirror and sees it. His urine is dark, like cola brown, and the whites of his eyes are yellow. He's rushed straight to the ER.
Okay, so now we're in the ER, and the medical investigation kicks off. The doctors have their first batch of clues, but their prime suspect? Well, it's about to lead them straight down a dead end.
The ER team sees a pattern right away. Kevin's got a fever. He's got jaundice, that's the yellow skin and eyes, and he has pain in the upper right part of his belly. In medicine, that trio is a massive red flag. It's known as Charcot's triad, and it screams that something very, very serious is going on.
So, with this textbook trio of symptoms, the doctors have a prime suspect: acute cholangitis. It's this super dangerous infection in the bile ducts. They don't mess around. They immediately get him on IV fluids, hit him with powerful antibiotics, and order an emergency ultrasound to see what's going on in there.
But here comes the first big twist in our mystery. The ultrasound comes back, and it's totally normal. His bile ducts are clear. The evidence just isn't adding up. Their number one theory is officially toast, and now they're back to square one.
With their first lead completely cold, the doctors turn to the one place that holds the real story: Kevin's blood. It's time to let the body do the talking.
And the blood work, wow, it paints this picture of absolute chaos. His hemoglobin is low, so he's anemic. His LDH levels are through the roof, which is a screaming signal that his cells are being destroyed. And his total bilirubin is astronomical. That's what's causing the jaundice. But here's the kicker. His direct bilirubin is low. That's the clue that tells them his liver isn't the source of the problem. It's just completely overwhelmed by whatever's happening.
So you put all that together, and it points to one diagnosis: acute hemolysis. It's Greek for blood breaking apart. And that's literally what's happening. Kevin's red blood cells are just bursting, flooding his system with toxic junk faster than his body can clear it. And his kidneys are starting to fail under the strain.
So, okay, we've got the what. His red blood cells are self-destructing on a massive scale. But the million-dollar question, the one they have to answer to save him, is still just hanging there. Why? What on earth is causing this?
And the answer, you're not going to believe this, was literally hiding in plain sight. The smoking gun was found just by taking a closer look at his blood under a microscope, and it revealed a clue that is just wild.
This is so cool. When the lab techs put a special stain on his blood, they see these little dark spots inside his red blood cells. They're called Heinz bodies, basically tiny clumps of damaged goods. Now, as these damaged cells pass through the spleen, the body's cleanup crew, these cells called macrophages, literally comes along and takes a bite out of the bad part. This creates cells that look, well, they look like they've been bitten, so we call them bite cells.
And seeing these bite cells, that's a total game changer. It tells the doctors that this isn't some outside infection or poison. The problem is an internal weakness. Something wrong with the red blood cells themselves. It points straight to a genetic cause. But wait, a genetic problem that doesn't show up until you're 65? That's pretty weird.
So armed with this huge clue, the doctor goes back to talk to Kevin. And this is where it all comes together: the microscope, his family history, and finally, that healthy snack.
So the doctor asks Kevin about his family and learns that his grandfather used to have these same kind of mysterious yellow eye episodes. And then he asks this question that seems to come from completely out of left field.
had he been eating fava beans recently. And Kevin shows him the bag of snacks. And right there on the label, fava beans. And just like that, boom, the case is cracked.
Turns out Kevin has something called G6PD deficiency. And this is the best way to think about it. It's like a sci-fi battle inside your body. Chemicals and things like fava beans act like lasers, creating this thing called oxidative stress that zaps your cells. Now, normally, your cells have a protective shield, an antioxidant shield powered by an enzyme called G6PD. But if you have G6PD deficiency like Kevin does, your shield is weak, it can't recharge. So the lasers just blast right through and obliterate your red blood cells. So we've solved Kevin's mystery. But now we gotta zoom out, because this isn't just some rare, bizarre thing. It's actually an incredibly common genetic trait with an amazing story that goes back thousands of years. Get a load of this number. Over 400 million people worldwide are affected by G6PD deficiency. 400 million. It's actually one of the most common enzyme deficiencies on the entire planet. And if you map out where it's most common, you see this incredible pattern emerge. The highest rates are in Africa, around the Mediterranean, and in Southeast Asia. These are all places that, historically, have been hotspots for malaria. And that is absolutely not a coincidence.
So here's the wild evolutionary trade-off. The parasite that causes malaria needs to hide out and grow inside your red blood cells. But in someone with G6PD deficiency, the extra stress from the parasite is enough to make the cell self-destruct, which kills the parasite right along with it. So this genetic weakness is actually a prehistoric superpower against one of humanity's deadliest diseases. It's why the gene has stuck around for so long.
Kevin, by the way, made a full recovery. He just knows to stay away from fava beans now. But his story is just incredible, isn't it? It just goes to show how our modern lives can suddenly collide with these ancient secrets we carry around inside of us, totally unaware. Which kind of leaves you with one last question to chew on. What ancient secrets are hiding in your DNA?